All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Honey Jam Pod. We are your hosts, Jessica,
And Janice?
and we have a very special guest today. I'm very excited to be talking to her as she looks all dolled up and nice.
I
And
know.
I love her makeup, looking so
Seriously.
pretty.
No, this was a necessity. I don't have the natural youthful beauty like you two. So
Wait, okay, but
This
we'll
was-
get into this. But I mean, I am shocked, like after knowing how old you are, unni, because you look so young and you look so good. So you have
Yeah.
to teach us your ways. Janice,
Yes.
this is one of your close unnies, right? Can
That's
you
right.
kinda give us an introduction of who she is?
Absolutely. So our guest for today, she is a very close 언니 to me. Actually, my 동네 언니, because she's also from the valley.
the valley.
I mean, I don't want to go into so many details because we're going to talk about it more. But without further ado, everyone, this is Christine Chuey. Welcome to the pod.
Welcome.
Wow, it is truly an honor. Thank you for having me on. I have been a fan since day one, since the get.
Wow.
Yes, a really big fan. And I just wanted to take it over for 1 second
Yes, please do.
because I have an hour and a half commute one way to work every day.
Wow.
And ever since the Honey Jam, I've been looking forward to just the episodes. And like I thought after so many, maybe it would lose its flavor or but no, you guys deliver every time. And I've always enjoyed it, but my commutes have been more entertaining and I just adore you guys. I adore you. So I'm kind of like driving in my car and it's a little creepy because I'm just smiling so big because I just think you're so cute, but also the dynamics of you two are just so cute. So I'm
Yep.
just smiling.
Spot
But
on.
you've also made me cry, and I really appreciated the last episode.
Aw, thank you, Christine. Okay. One thing that I want to preface is Christine is in the same class as Jess and Danielle in terms of crybaby level.
Oh.
Actually, I would say like maybe Christine
Yeah.
is the biggest crybaby, and then
Yeah.
maybe Danielle, and then you, Jess, probably.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm a
Um,
huge crybaby, so that's saying a lot.
I thought it's kind of embarrassing how easily I cry, but I think it's just I think in one of the episodes, was it last one where Jess, you're an empath? I think it's a gift, but it's
Yes.
it's a little much sometimes, but
I totally resonate. Yeah.
It's definitely a gift. And just to introduce Christine a little bit further. So how I know Christine is I met Christine when I was a senior in college at church. So Christine was serving at the college ministry at church, and so that's how I got to know her. Like she was like basically like a leader. And then eventually, we graduated, and then just like that age gap just felt like it just got smaller and smaller and smaller because she lives in the valley, I'm in the valley, and then we got placed in the same community groups. And then our husbands are both named David, and they get along really, really well. Christine's husband David is so chill. Everyone loves David and Christine. At church, they're super popular. Everybody knows the Chewies.
Of course.
no.
But it's funny because at church, like our pastor Jason will like deliver a fire sermon and everyone's crying, everyone's crying. But like Christine, even if it's not like a crazy sermon, you just turn over to her and she's just always crying. She's like sobbing. And then Jason is always like, wait, Christine, like at what point did you cry? Like, I don't understand.
Like, 울 포인트가 아닌데 why are you crying?
Yeah, there was no point there for you to, be sad or like touched, but she cries. And she's an empath.
But okay, let me rewind. First, when I met you, Janice, it was actually at our retreat.
Oh, yeah.
And when we were walking in the dark,
Uh-huh.
and it was you, Ellen, and someone else. And then I just thought you guys were so cute because you guys seemed like you were like close friends. And then you were like, oh yeah, we're like really close friends, and we're from the valley. And I'm like, I'm from the valley. And then you guys said, oh, we went to Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I went to Van Nuys. And so
High school.
you just you and your friends kind of reminded me of me and my friends.
So we've known each other for over 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm sure you guys have like a lot of like unnis, but I'm more on the like emo category.
No
I
way.
am.
No way,
No,
come
you are
on.
not.
Okay,
Come
so
on
let's
now.
at least tell the listeners what the real age gap is. So I'm born in 81. So
Wow.
I'm 43. You guys are born
93. Christine, are
93.
you
Wow, yeah.
rooster?
Yes.
Okay,
We're
so we're
띠동갑.
띠동갑.
Yes.
we're 12
that
years, 12 years
explains a
apart.
lot. Yeah. That explains a lot.
Wait, I am like really shocked because I thought you were so much younger. I'm honestly like shocked right now because my brother-in-law, he's the same age as you, and he looks
Oh.
pretty young too.
Yeah.
But I thought you were younger.
Well, also because I'm an old mom. So like after I got married at 30 and then we had trouble having kids. So for 7 years we tried. And then so by the time Dean was born, I was 37 and then Unji 39.
How was it? Can I ask how that was? Because for me, I had Hui when I was 29, and even
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh, like if I had him even like 2 years when I was like 2 years younger, I feel like I would have had the energy.
You know, the older I get, the more I realize like there's pros and cons with everything, you know? Like being a young mom or even, okay, forget young mom, like even getting married super young. I think some couples that was meant for them, you know? And then they get to like travel together, do all these things before kids and, you know, they get to enjoy being married for longer, right? And then, you know, like there's some people who get married way late. And I think by that time they like really know who they want and, you know, there's more wisdom there. And I feel like they kind of shortcutted through some of the things that married couples have to do, right? Being a young mom, you have all this energy and it's really, really great. But I think there is something when that I had kids later because I think I needed a little bit of me time before to like grow in serious ways to like mature and to grow and to kind of get stronger, I think. But in like lighthearted ways, I think I needed to let some of that out when I was younger. And then me as a mom now, I'm a little bit more, I don't know if it's level-headed or, you know, I just mature later. So I think it worked for me.
Christine, do you want to talk a little bit about like, you know, where you're from, a little bit about your younger days?
The Valley is not the most popular place, right? I mean, we all know David Jeong is not a fan, but it's hot. It's really hot, so it kind of sucks. But and it gets windy and it's really cold in the winter, so it sounds like it's all bad. But you know, like growing up in the Valley, also I'm a lot older than you guys, so the world was a little different back then. I've always thought OC people are really, really wholesome, good, you know, very nice. The streets are really clean. Everything's beautiful in the OC, right?
Wow.
But the Valley is not that way. We've got a lot of personality. So there's like some, you know, there's some nicer parts, like Janice's area is very, very nice. But then we've also got a little bit of hood, you know, in the, like some.
That's true.
But I would say it's a lot of personality. So we're also kind of like close to K-Town. So we always just drove out to K-Town. I don't know about you guys, Janice, but
us too.
We just always went to K-Town. And then I went to Van Nuys, and that's when I actually met David.
Your husband?
Actually, go before that. You know how you guys are, when I look at you, it kind of makes sense that we're the same. You said chicken. I know. I call it
rooster.
I call it the cock because it actually. There was something I read.
Shout out Joanne.
There was something I read and it said it was a cock. But okay, so like I actually think I'm kind of similar to you guys. Actually, more to Jess than you, Janice. Okay, I think you're very, very similar. But then but Jess, even though like I don't know you really well, I feel like I do know you thanks to Honey Jam, but also, you know, just Janice talking about you. But I'm also I think I'm really good with like groups, you know, and more extroverted, you know, and I'm a feeler. But anyway, like I would say you guys, just to give you guys another shout out because I feel like you're I'm very extroverted and I'm a feeler, and I feel like we are, you guys are funny, and I tend to be more on the entertainer side, but like you two are definitely the more wholesome versions of me.
How so?
Past and present. I just feel like you're both of yours. Well, I know Janice for sure, and I know Jess. I could tell. So check-kiss, so sweet, so wholesome, and I used to actually not have such a strong affinity towards wholesome people. I kind of like the edgy, a little bit more broken. That's who I tend to like. But what I really love about you two is that you both are like, you both have a lot of depth, even though you're very like sweet and wholesome. So I think that makes you guys special.
Wait, so Christine, how to wrap it up to your childhood?
I love how Christine only, we asked her to talk about herself and she ended with complimenting us.
Oh, you know the thing about Christine is she is an expert at changing topics when it's about like, when someone focuses on her. She is like a pro at shifting the attention. Like,
I was like seamlessly.
Casually,
it was so
subtly.
seamless. I was like 빠져들어ing to what she said, and I realized we asked her about herself.
Oh, sorry. And I go off. I think that was a nice way of saying, like, I just go off on a lot of tangents.
I love it.
I meant to say that if you were to imagine me as like a younger person, I was a little bit like you guys, like very bubbly, very friendly, a lot of energy, but I was just edgier.
Okay. I can see that.
I had that teenage angst. I was a little, rebellious.
Yeah.
And so then ninth grade, I saw this guy and he looked super K-Town. Okay. This guy had like, back in the day, the guys used to highlight their hair with this really cheap product called Sunnin. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, if you have any listeners who are, again, Gen X, they'll know. And then you put sun in and you slick your hair back.
Hair back. 약간 like HOT style, huh?
With his, and he would, he had this like really angry look, very K-Town, the way he dressed. And I knew he was from K-Town because he bust in from K-Town or like from LA. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I immediately liked him because he looked rebellious and I knew he was like, back then, Janice, he was actually really funny. He was like really funny.
He's still funny now though.
No, he got all serious as he got older, but no, he used to be kind of a class clown and all that. And he would always ditch school. And I thought that was cool. And I liked him. So I liked him first. And then eventually we got together. But we had a very like sweet romance in high school, I would say, because like we ditched a lot together. We made a lot of memories. We were not good kids, okay, but we made a lot of memories. And he used to write me letters all the time. Did you guys always write letters? And he would write me lyrics from like Coldplay or Dave Matthews Band, and he would write these really like these lyrics. And he would be so embarrassed if he hears this. He would send me these letters, and I just like. We fell in love, and also, I mean, just on a more serious note, like David kind of, and he doesn't mind if, who knows this, but he kind of came from like a hard upbringing, very, very hard upbringing. And, mine was not hard, but I wouldn't say it was easy either. So I think we really, we always had a lot of chemistry and connected like very deeply. And spent, a lot of late nights talking and all of that. And we fell in love and we dated, but I broke up with him before college. Yes.
Christine talked about how like she was a rebellious high school student and stuff, but she actually gone to UCLA. She went to UCLA.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
so I went to UCLA. He went to USC, but we.
Wait, I didn't know that. I totally forgot he went to USC.
Oh, star-crossed lovers.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys were good students.
No. Oh. Janice. No. He went in as a transfer.
That doesn't matter.
Hey, shout out living room pod, Dichon.
No, you know what's funny? My friend, her mom was really like into status or things like that.
Yeah.
So when she got introduced to my friend's boyfriend, who's now like basically her husband, she asked him, "What school did you go to?" And he goes, oh, UCLA. And then the second question she asked him was, did you go in as a freshman or a transfer?
That's so Korean.
Wow.
But I thought I would meet all these guys in college, and I really thought, there would be so much more out there. Like
Yeah.
not so much more, but I just thought, oh, I can't just stay with one boyfriend, But little did I know, like even though I dated a lot thereafter, like a lot of boyfriends in
Yeah.
college and in my 20s, and I went to Korea and I basically lived there, for this guy. It's a long story. It's like this whole thing. And then, but every guy, I've always compared him to David. And I think I've said that to them. And then when I came back from Korea, we were both like in our upper 20s, and he had just broken up with his girlfriend, who he dated for 5 years, who also went to our high school, by the way.
Wow. Wait, were you
And-
guys in touch this entire time?
Yeah, we had the same group of friends.
Mm.
We had the same group of friends. But even within that time, like we didn't always like each other. There were times we also like hated each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's complicated. But then I think all of that hate, there's a thin line between love and hate, So when we got together, when we were both single at the same time in our upper 20s, that's when we got back together.
That's
And then got married
crazy.
after that, from upper 20s to 30.
Yeah. So we got
Dang.
married, and then 7 years later we had kids, but still our same group of friends are all our high school friends. So
And that's why you guys are always like on trips together, and it's not just like your friends, Christine, right? It's like David is actually friends with all of them too.
Yeah, his best girlfriends are my best girlfriends. Wait, right? And my best guy friends are his best friends.
Wow.
That's so amazing.
That sounds so fun. And I can't believe like this history started from 9th grade.
Yeah, 9th grade.
What year was that?
Wait, you're
The
93,
90s.
right? Yeah, so it was 95 when you guys were 2. I could have held you in my arms. I could have just...
Something about a 90s love story, in the valley. Like, it sounds so cool. The thing about Christine though is like, even though she may be 12 years older than us, she's like so like, she and David are so cool, and like their energy. Okay, you know how
We're
we're
not cool.
extroverted.
No.
Like Jess and I are pretty extroverted. There are only a few people that I can think of that can like out extrovert me. Christine Chuey is one of them. And
Dang.
like she's famous for her dance moves.
Yes.
Like on the dance floor at weddings.
Yes.
She goes hard, and it's
She goes
so-
all out.
You've seen her.
I got to witness this glorious dancing at I think Janice's wedding. But even like aside from that, I see like people's stories, and Christine is always
on the dance floor.
on the dance floor.
Yep.
The last one to be partying it up with the bridesmaids and just like going all out on the dance floor.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Janice's wedding. Janice, your wedding was so sweet. And the
There
dance
she
you
goes.
had.
There she goes. Shifting the attention.
언니, we're talking about you.
Dance. Yeah, but I don't know. I would call it kind of shameless the way that I dance, because it's not good. It's just
It's so good. And it's like she has a straight face, and she's dancing so hard, and she's just bringing so much joy to everyone around her, but her face is just deadpan, and like she's like doing the robot.
But like just
So
the
good.
energy and like the
Yes.
commitment,
Oh
like,
yeah. One thing I really respect about Christine and David is like they have 2 kids, right? So and they're young, so it's hard because they have like certain needs, and they're like running around and stuff like that. But the thing about David and Christine is they always like give each other time to go out with their friends. And like, when you're a parent, you get tired, and like, on your date, maybe if your husband says, oh, like, go out and like have fun with your friends, you'll go out to like, get some tea or whatever. No, like Christine and David, they go hard. Like
where do they go?
They go out like, to Pyeolbam, and like they know how to have
Dang.
fun. If Christine goes out, David watches the kids. If David goes out, Christine will stay and watch the kids. But they like give
Dang.
each other that like freedom. Isn't that
Yeah.
awesome?
That's awesome. And wow.
like, isn't it funny? Because when you get married, you don't really think about those kinds of things, like finding a marriage partner.
Yeah.
You think like, but I think that's a big part of it is how you spend your time, and if
Yes.
you guys both are kind of similar. Because, you know, I have friends where their husbands, it's not that they give them a hard time, but they're a little bit more, they want their wives to be like with them more. You know what I mean? Like more home, and a little bit, they like to do like just their nuclear family
Yes,
things,
yes.
or you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's kind of less guilt and nice if both parents are kind of like wanting their own time with friends and
Yeah.
own solo time.
I think that's so important because, you know, of course, family is family. Your family is number one. That's the thing about Christine. Like, she's super close to not just like her own family, but she has a huge like extended family. So it's not like she's not a family oriented person, but she's also so close with her friends. Like, she's just so well connected with everybody. And like, I think it's because she's such a genuine person. And she makes time for everybody.
How do you like keep up with all those relationships?
Yeah.
You know, that's my question. Because again, you have a big family, you have a family of your own, you have your husband, and then you have that close group of friends, and then on top of that, you're like you're listening to Honey Jam, and even like just like taking care of us, and like how do you have the capacity for that?
You know, now I understand how all your guests have felt. You know, it's really nice to have unnis, right?
Yeah.
Like, just growing up, it's really nice to have like older people that you can go to. And then of course you have your peers, like all your, you know, friends. But to me, like younger people, like dongsengs, and just people who I adore, like, you know, all of you, I find give me the most energy and most like light. So it's not something that I never see it as like, oh, I'm giving this time, you know, but it's something I just enjoy. So, you know, you make it work.
Christine kept wanting to talk. She was like, okay, Janice, what are we going to talk about the podcast? And I was telling her like, oh, you know, it's just been a casual conversation and stuff like that. And she's like, you know, I think this could be a really good way for me to like give you like advice as an older person. She kept saying that. So Christine, I want to know like, what kind of advice do you want to give us 30-something-year-old?
I mean, I think this could go a lot of ways. So it could go either like serious or not, but I would say, you know, like the 20s, I obviously like we live different lives in different generations and different eras, but my 20s, I feel like was a really, really fun decade for me. Really, really, really fun. And I just kind of was I'm a free spirit. So very, you know, like adventurous. And then, but my 30s was actually really hard. I had a hard 30s. I kind of went through, you know, all the infertility and, you know, it was in my 30s where, you know, I got pregnant, but it was also when my dad got sick. He passed away 2 years after. So, you know, it was just a very heavy 30s. But I have to say, like 40s, I'm only 3 years in, but 40s might be my favorite decade so far. Yeah. Because, you know, I don't know how you guys are, like, you know, you're just starting your 30s, right? But like, there's some stress in the 30s. Like, you feel like you kind of don't have everything settled yet. You know, like, even if you have kids, you're still kind of like establishing your family, establishing, you know, your career, your life, and things are just a little bit more like a lot of goals and a lot of things of like trying to, you know, and then like Janice, I know how it is, like wanting things, but you're waiting, and a lot of things are outside of your control too. So, you know, learning how to deal with that was, you know, not, I would say difficult, but it was just like, I had to learn a lot of patience. And then, but in your 40s, you're free. You feel very good about like where you are, I think, for the most part. And then also in your 40s, you have your people, like, you know who your people are, like fully know it. And in your 40s, you kind of just appreciate like the smallest little things, you know? So like, I used to always be like, am I really going to retire at 65? Like, am I going to be working at 65? And then that's when I retired. And it was such a, like, oh, I don't want to work that long, or I'm looking forward to retirement, right? But then I feel like what I've learned is if I'm working at 65, I'm very lucky and blessed to be working at 65. Because my dad, he got sick right before he retired. And, you know, he was saying like, oh, you know, now that I can't work, like I wish I was able to work. And so those kinds of things, I feel like as you get older, one advice I would say is just be very grateful for where you are, because even like silly things, like I always make fun of myself how old I am. Okay. Oh, I'm old. Oh, I don't want to celebrate another year getting older. But then I just think about my 50-year-old self. Like 50-year-old Christine would tell me, just like, shut up, just enjoy being your age now. You're only this age once. If you do that earlier, you get to savor it a little bit more. Like, I'm really good, because once like you hit the older ages, some things just decline, I mean, I bet no one of your listeners want to hear about perimenopause, but it's real. And it's like,
what? What is
true. That? Perimenopause, it's the worst. Yeah, and I don't want nobody wants to listen to menopause. I get it, so I'm not going to really say much about it, but I will say it's real, and it happens pretty early on, like your 40s.
Oh wow.
So like you just gotta appreciate the age that you are. That's because that's the only time you'll be that age. So how like you in your guys' pod, it's very evident how much you guys love each other, right? Your friendship is very sweet. But I'll tell you, as you get older, it'll be even sweeter. Like friendships. Okay, I'll get emotional, but I think friendships, because like when you go through all these different things in life together, the older you get, the more like you don't even care if it's like cringe anymore. You just love hard on each other, because you've been through all the seasons together.
I was just like thinking about like how as we get older, like I'm seeing the people around me and what they're going through, and it's like so much more serious and like more heavy than what I ever imagined or what I experienced, like, when I was in my 20s or in my teens. Yeah. And I can only imagine like those moments where, you go through a lot of hurt together, a lot of joys and just a lot of pain. You can't help but like just grow in love for each other even more, even through all of that, Yes. And like, as you're like approaching that age where like, our parents are getting sick and like we're caring for our kids, and like there's just so much more pain going on. Like what you said, Onni, like you can't help appreciate but like the people around you and like the friendships, and all you want to do is like love on them harder and appreciate them more because of those things.
Yeah, no, and like not everybody has friendships like the friendship you guys have. It's something like even when you guys talked about your love story, you two, your own love story, it was very sweet, because it was almost like you guys were meant to be, like you're on the same frequency, and you were like, and you guys met, and those frequencies kind of just like
Wait,
it was magnetic.
Oh, you're talking about Jess and my love story?
Yeah, you and Jess.
I was like, who is she talking about?
Oh, like how we met.
Yes.
I see. Yes.
That's so cute. No, our love story.
Okay, no, but your love stories, I loved hearing about David and Josh too. They were also so much fun. Hey, but out of the two of you, because I'm genuinely curious, like, because both of you are really like sweet and like I kept saying wholesome, but if you had to pick one of the two that's just a slightly more savage.
Savage?
Like a little bit more, yeah.
I will say Janice is a little bit more like honest and kind of like more brave when it comes to like standing up for
that's
her
true.
friends. Yeah, so she's like more savage in that way.
That's
but
true.
For me, I'm like I can be a little bit like meaner. And I feel like I also kind of had, I mean, not too much, but because I had the influence of my older sister, who I feel like reminds me of like your younger days, Onni. Like she influenced me a lot. Like I saw her like going out to clubs and like, like drinking with her friends, and like I wanted that. So like, I had a little bit of a rebellious phase too, like in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know who I would have guessed. I think maybe I thought Janice, maybe, because Jess, you seem like such an angel, but Janice, you too, but I don't know.
I want to be more of a savage. Like I want to be able to like fight, you know?
Janice is like too kind. I mean, I'm sure you know Unni, but like she's like she has no mean bone in her body.
There's something about when Janice cries
Mm.
that I just want to protect her and like and just hold. I just want to hold Janice because when she cries, it's just so. I don't know. It makes me just cry even more because Janice is so bright. You know, she's so she holds so much in for like this like responsibility of being so sweet and like considerate of everyone else. And you know, I think you talked about this, Jess, but I see that too, you know. So whenever I see like even like any tears coming out, oh my God, it's over.
It's over, man. It's
Christine
over.
just said that she wants to hold me, but you can't really tell on the camera. She's like a 5'2", 3.
No, I'm not even 5 feet.
Oh my God.
She's a tiny, tiny woman. Very petite woman.
Like yesterday, I think this was on your story, Janice.
Yeah.
But you met up with Christine Unni, and she was just like crying because she was talking about our previous episode.
Yeah.
And like just from that story alone, like you could just tell how much she cares for you, like how big of a heart she has, and like how empathetic she is. And that just warmed my heart, like seeing her like really relate and like feel for you, and just like you know, offering those words of encouragement.
Yeah.
That day was pretty emotional for you, huh, Janice, when we released that episode?
Yeah, it was. I got a lot of encouraging text messages. Like all day, people were messaging me, like people that I know, you know. And I was like tearing up all day, and I was like fighting back the tears. And then I think like at the end of the day, I saw Christine because David made some what is it? What was it? Carrot cake. He made carrot cake for his own birthday because he loves carrot cake. And he was like, "Oh, we made too much. Like, who wants some?" And Christine's like, "Me, I want some." So then I delivered it to her. She was dropping off Dean at Taekwondo, so I just went to the Taekwondo place because it's like 5 minutes away from my house.
So
and
cute.
she was like holding onto that pie and then crying in the middle of the parking lot. I'm like, Christine, is this really happening right now?
But you know what, Janice? I don't think I ever told you, but there is something for both me and David, my David. There's something about David Jeong. There is just something about him that we like adore on another level of like, you know, the way that I adore you, but I've had history with you. I've known you for a while, you know, but with David, there's something about him where I just want to take him in as like my family, you know, because he's so, I just think he is so lovable. And it's not in the way where it's like, oh, he's very nice, he's very funny. Yes, he's all of those things, but there's something about his soul. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like David has a good soul.
It's the broken soul.
I could recognize it, you know, and is it? I don't know. There's something.
Christine Unni said she likes edgy people.
That's true.
I feel like David definitely has that vibe.
Yes. Oh, I also want to talk about your kids really quick, Christine. I think it's really cute. So Dean is her first child, and then Eunji is her second child. Eunji's English name is actually Noelle, but no one calls her Noelle. Kind of like how no one calls Hui Luke.
Hui's name is Luke?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, he is the cutest. No, he is seriously, literally the cutest.
It's funny though, because I think like Eunji actually has more of like Christine's personality. She's like very carefree. And it's so interesting because she's just a kid, but her personality is like so big, you know, even though she's just a kid. Like she's got kind of like a spicy side to her. She doesn't give a crap about what people think about her. She just does her own thing. Right?
I love it.
Yeah, she's very confident. Very confident.
Do you see yourself in her?
Yeah, like I guess now, but that's another question I wanted to ask you guys. Because were you guys always confident even as you were like when you were younger?
You know, for me, I really attribute my confidence and like I guess like my bubbliness to how my mom raised me. Because no matter what I did, my mom would always compliment me. Even if I fail, she'd be like, 괜찮아, like 잘했어, you tried your best. And I think that was really vital in the way like I viewed myself and like how I approached things. I still remember like in like kindergarten or first grade, we took like a quiz on like the US map or something like that. And like I studied the world map instead.
Wow.
And then I failed it because it was the US map. And I came home crying and I walked home from school. And then I was like, Oma, I failed my test. I'm so sorry. Thinking that she would like
Get
혼내
mad.
me. But she just laughed and hugged me and said like, why would you cry over this? It's fine. Just, study it right next time and you'll be okay. And I feel like I remember it to this day because like just that like warmth and that assurance kind of like is what carried me and like helped me to be just feel so assured and confident,
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
See, I'm taking parenting notes. No, that's so important.
It's funny because Christine, she's such a funny person, right? Like very bright and bubbly and funny. She'll like discipline her kids, but she does it so often that they don't really get scared of Christine. But like for someone who's hearing it for the first time, right? They'll probably think like, oh wow, that's kind of scary.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Christine will be like, no,
Yeah.
Unji, come here. Dean, don't do that. She'll be like very, very stern, but the kids are like, I'm not doing
like-
anything. They're just like, they don't care.
They don't care.
Unfazed.
They're unfazed.
Okay, so Jess, you know how you were talking about being like a people pleaser, right?
Yes.
It totally comes from being a people pleaser because I'm constantly apologizing for my kids.
Yeah.
Constantly. Like Dean, say sorry. Go say thank you. Go say, do it now. And but then the people that I'm saying it to or he's saying it to, they don't even look like they need that or it's completely me.
Yes.
But I feel this need to be like apologizing for them and saying like, I'm so sorry. Like you go say sorry, those things. So I think I hope I'm not messing them up too much, but I do give them a lot of affection.
Of course.
Yeah.
No.
But the way your mom was and is to you, Jess, that's exactly how I think good women build their like confidence and they feel secure is when their parents tell them, just make them feel like really, really sure of themselves. So yeah.
But I also think like your relationship with Unji and Dean, right? It's like it may not be like the traditionally, like the way like Jess felt her love from her mom, but I feel like your relationship with your kids is also like unique and special too, and they definitely feel so much love from their mom too.
Oh yeah.
They'll know that they have a cool mom for sure.
Do you know what everybody says about me is, oh, Christine, you're such an encouraging person. You're so encouraging.
You are.
But I really feel now how that feels because you two are literally the most encouraging people. And it's kind of making me feel uncomfortable just listening to so much.
We love bomb our
encouragement.
guests. And
We do.
Yeah,
we
there's
love to
a-
make them
there's-
sweat.
Wait, so
But I
Christine,
just want to encourage you guys. So it's
Oh,
just
man.
really uncomfortable.
It's a war out here. It's an
encouragement circle.
war.
vicious cycle. Wait, Christine,
Yeah.
but were you always confident as a kid?
No, I know. I was waiting for your response, but yes, but no, I was not.
Oh,
I kind of was, but kind of wasn't. But you know how I told you I was a little bit more like angsty?
yeah.
So I think I grew up with the opposite. So I had a lot of like, I didn't get a lot of like positive reinforcement, but I would say I got more like not as much that, but kind of like, my dad would make fun of me and it'd be kind of funny, but more on the side of like making fun of their kids rather than, yeah.
Ah,
So
I see.
but I could tell I'm a little bit like that too.
Oh.
But I have to tell myself to be more encouraging to my kids and say like, oh, that's a really good job. But instead I'm like, Dean, you knew this. You could have focused more and you could have gotten right. I tend to be more like that. So I'm trying to fix it.
I will say though, my mom in front of other people, she would be very like, kind of like false humility. You know what I mean? Like like, oh, like 아니에요, like 별로 못해요, and then I'll be like, what the heck, you told me the opposite in front of me. Like, why are you, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't want to seem like she's like showing off and stuff in front of other people.
Yeah.
And
Why is
I
that
do
something that you do, Jess?
I do the same thing with Hui, which is kind of crazy because I adore my son and I love him and he's the best thing ever. But for some reason, when I'm in front of other people, I'm like, that big booty Hui, like such a 개구쟁이. And I find myself like kind of like, you know, talking him down just for the sake of like appearing humble, you know?
Yeah.
But I can see how like once he's older, like I should watch myself with that. Yeah.
Man, I mean, you know, there's no wrong or right way of parenting. You know, it's just
so
you know,
hard.
It's like so dynamic that your relationship with your kids. So you guys are both doing such a great job.
Wait, how about you, Janice?
I can't really remember, honestly. I don't think it was ever, I don't know if I was like a confident kid, but I was never, like insecurity was never like on my mind. I mean, maybe as like a teenager, like normal teenagers, become, you know, a little bit insecure and stuff like that. Like I wanted to lose weight on my legs. But that's it.
Oh,
But I've always been like confident in myself.
were you guys ever boy crazy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have pegged you guys as being boy crazy because I feel like the boys were all after you. So you just kind of,
I mean, Jess can
You know.
definitely speak to that.
I was like always obsessed with like, you know, celebrities and like
Yeah.
things like that. And you know, all the like fob oppas, the, you know, handsome fob oppas in my high school. I was always like, who's that? And like, you know, trying to get their attention and stuff. But I feel like all teenage girls, right? Like they have that phase where they're like, they want a boyfriend, they want that perfect, you know, K-drama romance.
I was boy crazy, but I don't want Eunji to be boy crazy. So I thought like, oh, what do I do to kind of like maybe prevent that from happening? And I think, okay, but maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like when you instill so much confidence in the girl, like especially girls, right? But I feel well, actually you guys have, so because especially if you have a sister, I feel that sisters of sisters tend to have a little bit more insecurities. It's just my theory. Yeah, I have a reason for it. But yeah, I think like sisters of sisters tend to be a little bit more like they call each other out. They have a little bit more like insecurities. But
for sure. Yeah.
but I would say, you know, if I give her so much praise of like, oh, you know, then she won't look after attention from boys. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I'm not proud of this, but I was definitely boy crazy.
Maybe she won't be boy crazy, but like because of her confidence, like the boys will, you know, be attracted to that, especially, and like will go to her instead. How would you feel about that, Christine? Like, you know, she might be boy.
That's fine.
Oh.
As long as she's not boy crazy.
But you know, I think the saddest thing is when that confidence that, you know, kids have, or like little people, like, you know, little kids have, when it just starts like slipping away. I would never want that to happen. You know what I mean? So like, gotta keep, what will make me really sad is if Eunji lost her confidence. But, yeah.
You know, this kind of reminds me of like what's been in the talks these days.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of this, unni, and I just wanted to like bring it up because I feel like maybe, I mean, it's a little bit before your time, but I just wanted to see like if this kind of culture was like present when you were in high school. Did you hear about the Torrance like Ajumma drama? A victim who was bullied in high school in West
I did
High.
hear about it.
Basically, there was this girl, a fob girl, who was bullied at her high school, and this happened in Torrance and West High, I believe, in 80s or like early 90s. It was like, you know, the drama Glory with Song Ye-kyo. It was exactly like that, except like without the burning, the irons, curling irons. But she got bullied, like really, she got abused really badly by these like group of mean girl bullies. They like kidnapped her on their graduation day, took her to like a townhouse garage and like beat her and her friend up for hours. And then they told the girl like, oh, like you better not tell your family or we're gonna kill you and your family members.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, if they ask like where are all these like bruises from, tell them that it's like the Hispanic bullies that did it to you.
Oh my gosh.
and she has like lifelong eye damage
Oh
from
my
like those
gosh.
beatings. So she still goes to the doctor. She still like takes medication, and she's just traumatized. She's like forever
Yeah.
scarred from that time because they bullied her literally for no reason. Maybe it's because like during that time it's like, oh, if if you're someone's senior, you better insa, you better bow to them. Like don't talk back, don't look in their eye. And it was just like a bullying culture.
Yeah.
But apparently she was like kind of pretty too, so maybe the girls were jealous.
Jealous.
Who
Yeah.
knows? They're just like terrible, evil people.
Yeah.
Crazy thing is, this girl, the reason why it came up is she got triggered after seeing one of them like as an adult
Oh,
in the market, like at
I got
H Mart in
goosebumps.
Torrance. And or like I don't know where exactly. I think actually this was at a restaurant in Torrance, but the bully girl, one of the bullies, looked at her straight in the eye, and like the victim said like that triggered her so hard because she was like, how could you look at me in the eye like that and act like nothing happened? And then she went to H Mart, and one of like the the lead bullies, she's like a real estate like person.
Right.
So
Uh-huh.
her face was like plastered all over like the real estate like ads, and like that triggered her super badly. And so she never goes back to that H Mart again because she doesn't want to see like
Oh my
her
gosh.
bully. But all of that led to her being like, you know what, I was gonna take my own life like just yesterday or like last week, but I'm gonna use this courage to call you guys out, and you guys have like 24 hours to submit a video and apologize to me. And like she was just saying like all these things because I think she felt so like ogure, like why did you do this to me? I did nothing to you guys.
Yeah.
And like all these emotions were like flooding in as an adult after seeing them being triggered, having kids of her own, and seeing that they're living like their own lives just like with their daughters. And she's just like, how could you act like nothing happened? So basically the crazier thing is she posted this, people found out who these bullies were, and they listed out like their names, addresses, even like who they're related to, where they
That's
work.
crazy.
And people are like calling, like one of the bullies works at like a high school, she's a teacher. So they called the district saying like, hey, do you know like this happened, she was a bully. And like they called the PTA. They call one of the bullies like cousins who has like a dental clinic in Torrance, and they're like harassing him. And they found like all of their daughters like Instagram information and posted
That's
it.
scary.
So people are out like to get them because they're like, this girl deserves like justice.
You know what must be even harder is like if you got bullied by these people that grew up, and then they still seem kind of evil and they're like living some kind of like dark lives, but rather you're seeing them with their own families, kind of just very pretty lives. I think that would feel so much worse, like almost like they look like good people now. They feel separated from that past, but that past was real for her, for the victim. But it must be so much harder when you see them and then they look all like
just
a normal
fine.
Just fine.
It's crazy because you hear about these nightmare stories in like Korea, but like you don't hear about these stories happening to like Korean Americans,
Well, I don't know, did you have that kind of culture, Unni? Like when you were in high school, like were the fobs like kind of like like insahe, like nun kara?
It was a little bit like that. And one thing I noticed that's different is this is kind of embarrassing, but I went to Mama Lion, like it was a while ago. It wasn't too long ago. And I went into the bathroom, right? And then all these girls are in the bathroom. And I just remember, man, dude, when I used to go clubbing, like, in K-Town, the bathroom would be kind of like just this place where everybody just stares each other down, like nobody's looking at each other with like friendly eyes. You're just kind of like, just very cold. But then at Mama Lion, these girls were like, "Oh my god, like your outfit's so cute," and they were like commenting on the makeup, and I was just like, and they must have thought I was weird, but I was like, I love how club culture has changed, and just women empowering women now,
Yeah,
and
that's
not
true.
being some competitive, like stare each other down, and because it's all based on insecurity, right? Yeah, so I feel like back then it was a lot of that. There was a lot of like, I would say girls kind of like hating on other girls.
Yeah.
Rather than now, like, due to the culture and, a lot of people kind of like speaking out like, oh, we should really empower each other and like not, be so competitive with other women.
Dang, I guess times really have changed, huh?
Yeah, don't you just think like women generally now they just get along better?
That's like more of like more seen as like good, like women, we have to build each other up, we have to empower one another, and like that's the good thing these days.
That's what's cool, being nice these days.
Yes,
and I think it's a great culture shift.
Yeah, dude, like Van Nuys High, Janice. Back then, there were a lot of fights.
Yeah.
And there were a lot more than guys. It would be like girl bullies taking the girl to like behind the tennis courts or in the bathroom, breaking like a Snapple bottle cap over their head and getting the glass and like, it's just like a lot of stuff. And there's like another story where in high school there were I think they're bullies, and then they would be, and they're actually like living like totally fine lives now.
So you personally know some bullies like that?
Some, yeah. But they like, I guess, changed their ways. But then, only the people who knew them back then knew what they did back then, right? So a couple of them, they actually just showed up at my friend's house, rang the doorbell, and they took her in the car.
What?
And then my friend had to take their SAT, like one of the girls' SATs for her. So,
oh my god! Like back in high school.
Yeah, high school. So, and she told them, and the bully was kind of like, hey, I know you got like high SAT score. So you have to get around this score, like high 1300s or something like that. Don't get it to what, I don't want people to be suspicious. So just do it at this like range.
Oh my gosh.
And so my friend legit took that girl's SATs for her.
Oh my gosh.
Are you serious?
But I feel like people don't do that anymore, right? I hope not.
No,
I really hope not. I mean, I'm sure like cyberbullying is like kind of it's like a new generation.
That's true
for sure. That's going around, but man, like I feel like even like OC, like there's just so many crazy stories of like people dying from bullying and like it's insane. But all this to say, like, again, like back to your point of instilling confidence and kindness in Eunji. All those girls, those bullies, like it comes from a place of insecurity, like you said, Unni, and like just like I don't know, like trying to like fill that void and emptiness they have inside with like bringing others down. And I think it's very important, and I'm so glad that you're like being mindful of that and like wanting that for Eunji. And she's so lucky to have a mom like you, because I feel like Eunji would be the type to like, if she sees someone like bullying someone, she'd be like, hey,
that's so true.
What are you doing?
Eunji will be the one to like fight back and like stand up for her friends.
Yeah, she's a little like brutally honest, she just
I love it.
No, I don't like that. Yeah, but it's kind of it's kind of mean. She's got to calibrate it a little. But she'll literally go to a girl, and I think she knows not to say it to her face, but she'll just like whisper to me, I don't like her hair. And I'm like, what? But she's just very honest, and she's not meaning to be mean, but I think she's just very honest and confident.
So when I saw her yesterday, I peeped into the car. I was like, hi, Angie. And she was just like, she's like
so
such
chic.
a cool girl.
Chic.
So chic. We're going to go into our final segment.
Yes.
This is our Gang Chew corner. So Christine, do you have a Gang Chew for us?
Okay, so if it's lame, don't use it, okay?
Okay. There's no lame Gang Chew. As long as it's your strong recommendation that you want to share with the world.
Yes, it is.
The world.
I'm like actually really passionate about this.
Okay. What is it?
Okay. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but Celine Dion is coming back to Vegas.
Oh, wow.
She's coming back late 2024, early 2025 to Resorts World.
Wow.
Okay, so you know that just okay. Do you guys like Celine Dion? First of
We
all,
love Celine. We were just talking
love
about
her.
her 3 episodes ago.
have you watched her in concert?
I have. I had bloodshot nosebleed seats and I still cried.
Wow.
Oh, no. Did you say bloodshot nose? Okay.
I forgot the actual term.
Okay, yeah, nosebleed seats.
Yeah. So good. So comfortable. so
I've never
touching.
seen. I've never seen
Okay,
her
okay.
in person. Yeah.
Okay, so you know, I've got a lot of like, you know, I love BTS, I love Eminem. I think he is in another category, but like, you know, there's a lot of artists, right? And you see them in concert, and you're just like, oh, dude, they're just like so good, right?
Yeah.
But I think in history, like I'm talking centuries. Like, you know, as centuries go on to centuries and centuries, there's only going to be a handful of icons that will be remembered. Not just our grandchildren, but like our great grandchildren. Okay. And so, like, as an example, the Beatles. Okay. The Beatles are in a different category. I don't really
Yeah.
know the Beatles, but you know what I mean? Like, you just know, even if you don't know them,
Icons.
you can all like admit
Legendary.
that they are legendary and they're kind of in a different subset. Right.
Michael Jackson.
Exactly. Even though he's weird, you can't deny that
Yeah.
he's
Talent.
in that icon category.
Whitney
sure.
Houston?
Right?
Whitney
She's
Houston?
like borderline. Yeah.
Okay,
Beyonce.
borderline,
Yeah.
Beyonce.
But
Beyonce.
Beyonce. I think for this generation, maybe Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Just because she's, I don't know. I think she's
an
up
icon.
there.
Yeah. it's true.
But you know, Michael Jackson, the Beatles, right? But I think Celine Dion is one of them that forever, if you know, we're lucky to be born in the same time period as her, where we can actually see her live in concert.
Wow.
And this is her last show on the road. You know, this
Yeah.
is the last one. So
Oh.
I
보고
feel like
싶다.
everyone should go. And I actually went with my dad alone. I took him there. And this is way before he got sick, but I took him there and it was just me and my dad. And, you know, we watched Celine together and it was such a memorable trip and memorable concert. So it's very special to me. But, you know, I just feel like, yeah, and you will tell your grandchildren, hey, I actually,
Yeah.
you know, I saw Celine live.
Wow.
Damn. That's
Was
a
that-
strong Kangchu.
That is. Was that your first
Yeah.
time seeing her, like in concert with your dad?
I only saw her
Wow.
once. So that's why I want to, you know, see her one more time.
You know what song I cried on?
Which one?
Cause I'm your lady.
Yeah.
Dude, that song? Oh
So-
my gosh.
So,
It's so
good.
Wait, that's
My-
Celine Dion.
Yeah.
I didn't know
You're
that.
my man.
You know, wow, that's pretty good, Janice.
Thank you,
No,
thank
but
you.
you know, like, there's a lot of songs where you're gonna be like that, like, oh, this is also Celine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's such an iconic song, but for some reason I didn't know it was hers.
Do you have any 아쉬운 점, Christine?
Oh, and wait, oh, sorry, there's one more thing.
Yes.
So you know Danielle,
Uh-huh.
she mentioned Yeonin, my dearest, right? I just want to
no.
validate her right now. Okay.
Wow.
I heard about my dearest Yeonin for a while now from like different people, but I didn't really trust their taste, so I didn't watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
But then after the Danielle podcast, I was like, okay. That Danielle episode, I was like, all right, you know, this one I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah.
But I confirm, okay,
Did you finish it?
so I basically watched 17 really long episodes in like 4 days.
Wow.
I don't know. I haven't slept. I haven't showered. Dude, okay. So I'm going to confirm that the male lead, like his character,
Uh-huh.
he is truly the best male character I have ever seen in my entire
That's
life.
what Danielle says.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
in my entire life. In the history of K-dramas and
What?
shows, he is my favorite male character, male
That's a
lead.
huge statement. And
Yeah.
Christine is also very well versed in K-dramas.
Yes, she loves her
and-
K-dramas.
Yes, and movies.
Yeah, but also like shows, like good shows.
Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, he is just such a man but he has so much swag. He's so smart.
That's
And he
what-
just loves her. But the way that he acts, it's like the most you could feel how much he loves her. And like honestly, you guys, both of you, the only thing I've disagreed with in your pod, I didn't like Lovely Runner. I didn't like him. And if you like him, okay, you will be blown away by Lee Jong-yeon, right? He's the character in Yeonin, and he is, you guys have to watch it.
Wait,
Danielle's
I'm
gonna be
shocked.
so happy.
I know Danielle's gonna feel so validated.
It's not an easy watch because there's a lot of like
history
that's hard to watch. Yeah. It's intense.
Dang. But
it's worth it.
I do trust Christine Onni's taste because
Yeah.
she knows. I remember like we would just like message each other about like certain dramas and like shows. But a recent one was like Christine Onni was really into 연애 남매. And we're just like talking about some like legendary episodes. And I feel like also like you watched Our Blues, right? You enjoyed Our Blues. Yes, and we're just
She
talking
watches
about
it all.
But I learned everything from Janice.
Oh.
Yeah, I learned from Janice first, and then I ripple it to all my peers. So all the 40-year-olds, I tell them. But
She'll be like,
Janice
Janice,
is my
what should I
Janice
watch?
is my
Okay.
Let's see. Yes, watch
But
this.
okay, this kind of like piques my interest a little bit again.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I
But
started it. I pushed through, and it's getting good. I'm on episode 5.
Can you just please give that shout out to Danielle though?
Yes,
because
I'm gonna add that
watching
in.
it, it's changed my life.
Wow.
It's changed my life.
What? Okay, this is your second 강추 then, 언니. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just piggyback.
Yeah, it's
On
like your
Danielle's, yeah.
강추 affirmation.
Thank you so much, Christine, for joining us today. Please come again because we have so much more to talk about.
Also, can I just say, like, Janice told me to be on this podcast, and I was like, can you not put me on in season 2? Like,
I guess.
I would have been down for like season 7 because I'm not A-list. I'm not even B-list. I just wanted to be like a C-list guest, but
No,
you
you're
here
an
we are,
A-list.
and-
A-list for
No,
sure.
no.
Thank you again, Christine, for joining us. We love you. And for those of you who don't follow us, please follow us on Instagram at honeyjampod. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone.